Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something you probably, well, step on every single day.
Mhm.
Something you might not give a second thought to, but it's absolutely vital to what's on your feet right now.
It really is.
Prepare yourself, because this is actually unexpectedly interesting.
It sounds niche, but it's fascinating.
Our mission today is to unpack the surprisingly robust and rapidly growing world of footwear adhesives.
Think of it as the glue holding everything together, literally.
Exactly. The unsung hero for our shoes, from high-tech sneakers to, sturdy work boots.
Right.
Our source for this deep dive is a great report from Cognitive Market Research, focusing specifically on the global footwear adhesives market.
A really detailed look.
And we're going to uncover the growth story behind this industry and, well, see what it tells us about broader trends.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Footwear adhesives. What exactly are we talking about?
Well, they're specialized bonding agents. Basically, high-tech glues designed just for making and repairing shoes.
So not just any old glue from the hardware store.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
They need incredible strength, obviously, but also flexibility. That's crucial.
And resistance, too, right? To wear, tear, moisture, temperature changes.
Precisely. We're talking things like polyurethane, great for flexibility in athletic shoes.
Yeah.
Then epoxy, known for really strong, more rigid bonds.
Okay.
And cyanoacrylates, the superglue type, for quick, targeted fixes.
Got it. So they're used all over the shoe, attaching soles, linings.
Yeah, all those different components, they're essential for keeping the whole structure intact.
It's easy to overlook, but it sounds absolutely critical.
Oh, it is. I mean,
Yeah.
if the adhesive fails, the shoe fails, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good the design or materials are otherwise.
True.
It's a high-performance material that directly impacts durability and comfort, too.
Comfort. Interesting. How so?
Well, think about flexibility again. The right adhesive allows the shoe to move naturally with your foot. The wrong one could make it stiff or uncomfortable.
Makes sense. And it's not just holding shoes together. It's a market that's really growing.
Exactly. The report points to a few key drivers.
Like the demand for athletic and casual shoes, that seems relentless.
Absolutely. Growing middle classes globally, changing lifestyles, that's a big one.
And technology, advancements in the adhesives themselves.
Yet they're constantly getting better, stronger, lighter, more versatile.
And you mentioned eco-friendly options. That must be huge now.
Increasingly so. Manufacturers face regulation, sure, but consumers are also demanding more sustainable products. So eco-friendly adhesives are definitely on the rise.
Okay, so let's get into the numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The global footwear adhesives market, valued at a staggering $2,259.32 million back in 2021.
Over $2.2 billion. Yeah, it's significant.
Just for the glue, that's quite something.
And it's not standing still. The projections show strong continued growth.
Okay, what are we looking at?
It's expected to hit nearly $2.8 billion. That's $2,782.6 million by 2025.
Wow, okay.
And then grow further to a massive $4.2 billion, $4,220.8 million by 2033.
Over $4 billion by 2033.
That's right. And it represents a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of over 5.3%, 5.346% to be exact, over that forecast period.
That's really solid, sustained growth.
It really is. It highlights this sort of quiet but powerful force in global manufacturing. Shows how essential these materials are.
Absolutely. So where is all this happening? Where is the growth concentrated? Let's dive into the regions.
Okay.
Kicking things off with North America, a big contributor, right?
Definitely. Generated over $650 million, $652.945 million in 2021.
And the projection?
Estimated to grow to nearly $800 million, $798.05 million in 2025, and then projected to reach over $1.6 billion by 2033.
So almost doubling. And within North America, the U.S. must dominate.
Predictably, yes. The U.S. accounted for, over $500 million, $509.754 million in 2021.
Okay.
Projected to hit nearly $900 million, $887.836 million by 2033.
Wow. And Canada and Mexico?
Also showing strong, steady growth. Canada around $75 million in 2021, heading towards $147 million. Mexico starting slightly lower, around $67 million, but projected to reach over $125 million.
So solid growth across the board there, driven by consumer demand and manufacturing, especially in Mexico.
Exactly. Strong spending, particularly on athletic wear.
Okay, let's cross the Atlantic. Europe, another big market.
A very substantial market. Over $420 million, $420.234 million in 2021.
And the outlook.
Increasing to over $511 million by 2025. and projected near $740 million, $738.641 million by 2033.
And you mentioned diversity within Europe.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is the spread. You have the big economies like Germany,
Okay.
around $75 million in 2021, projected to grow to over $124 million.
Okay.
The UK, starting around $55 million, heading towards $90 million. France also showing solid growth, over $58 million up to $113 million.
And Italy, famous for shoes.
Right. Italy's interesting. Smaller numbers overall, about $33 million growing to $62 million, but it represents that high-quality, fashion-focused segment.
A mature market there.
Exactly. Then you have Russia, quite a notable contributor, projected growth from $57 million to over $95 million. Spain also significant.
And some smaller ones contributing too.
Absolutely. Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, they all add up, even Luxembourg.
Yeah.
And then a large chunk labeled rest of Europe, which is growing substantially too.
So a really varied picture across Europe.
Reflects different manufacturing strengths and consumer tastes for sure.
Okay, now, the powerhouse. Asia Pacific, the numbers here must be huge.
Oh, they are. APAC reached over $900 million, $901.47 million back in 2021.
900 million and projected.
Expected to grow past $1.1 billion, $1,119.16 million in 2025, and then surge to almost $1.8 billion, $1,776.11 million by 2033.
Wow. Nearly 1.8 billion. That's where the real momentum is, isn't it?
It really underscores the global manufacturing landscape. China, of course, leads the charge.
Let's hear it.
China was over $274 million in 2021, projected to break $500 million, $507.791 million by 2033.
Incredible. Massive manufacturing base, massive domestic market.
Exactly. But Japan is also very strong, nearly $200 million, $196.25 million, growing towards $360 million.
Okay.
And India shows really impressive growth, from $126 million up to over $280 million projected.
That reflects their growing manufacturing and huge consumer base, I imagine.
Absolutely. South Korea is significant too, $69 million to $123 million. Australia adds a solid contribution.
In Southeast Asia, countries like Vietnam, Indonesia.
Hugely important. That collective Southeast Asia bloc is set to more than double, from around $89 million to over $193 million. Major production hubs.
Right. Plus Singapore, Taiwan, rest of APAC, it all adds up to that dominant position.
No question, APAC is central to this market.
Okay, moving on. South America. What's the picture there?
Healthy growth there, too.
Yeah.
Started at over $181 million, $151.375 million in 2021.
And projected.
Expected to reach over $189 million in 2025, and then over $312 million by 2033. So it's also set to more than double.
Doubling again. Who are the key players?
Brazil leads the region by a fair margin, $53 million growing to over $107 million projected. Argentina also shows robust growth, nearly $20 million, potentially reaching over $43 million. Colombia, Peru, Chile added the mix too.
So driven by domestic demand and local manufacturing trying to meet it.
Largely, yes. It shows the opportunity in those developing economies.
Makes sense. Next up, the Middle East.
The Middle East market totaled over $88 million, $88.114 million in 2021.
Growing too.
Projected to hit over $105 million in 2025 and reach over $143 million, $143.507 million by 2033.
And key countries there.
Saudi Arabia is the largest, projected to grow from just under $30 million to over $47 million. Turkey is also a strong contributor, around $11 million up to $17 million. Then you have the UAE, Egypt, Qatar, all showing solid growth trends as well, often tied to rising incomes and urbanization.
Right. Okay, finally, let's round off the tour with Africa.
Africa was valued at just over $45 million, $45.186 million in 2021.
And the outlet.
Projected to reach nearly $59 million, $58.991 million in 2025, and further grow to almost $90 million, $89.481 million by 2033. So nearly doubling again.
Another doubling market. Who are the main contributors?
Primarily Nigeria and South Africa. They're the largest economies and consumer markets there.
So Nigeria?
About $9 million growing towards $17.5 million.
And South Africa.
Larger, starting over $16 million and projected past $31 million. The rest of Africa category also shows significant growth potential.
Reflecting similar trends. Urbanization, rising middle class, more demand for modern footwear.
Exactly. Driving imports, but also fostering some local manufacturing growth.
So what does this all mean when you stitch it all together?
Well, the numbers paint a really clear picture, don't they?
Yeah, sustained, pretty impressive growth across basically every region on the planet.
Right. It's not just about glue, as you said.
Yeah.
It reflects that relentless global demand for footwear, athletic, casual, work boots, you name it.
And it's tied to innovation too, right? The material science behind these adhesives keeps evolving.
Constantly, making them stronger, lighter, more durable, and, as we mentioned, more eco-friendly. That's a huge part of the story.
So we've peeled back the layers on this market that's, well, literally under our feet and found this multi-billion-dollar industry with really impressive, consistent growth forecast for years. It's kind of amazing.
It really is. Who knew adhesives could be quite so dynamic?
Exactly.
And I think, this raises an important point. Understanding these niche markets, like footwear adhesives,
Yeah.
it really illuminates the bigger picture, doesn't it? This vast, interconnected world of global manufacturing, supply chains, consumer demand.
It shows how even these small, often taken for granted components are actually massive economic forces.
Precisely. They tell a powerful story about global trends in technology, production, and what people are buying.
Absolutely. So maybe the next time you lace up your sneakers or, slip on a comfy pair of shoes.
Take a moment.
Yeah, consider the hidden chemistry, the sophisticated engineering that went into just holding them together, making them durable.
Makes you think.
It really does. And it makes you wonder, what other seemingly simple objects in your daily life might be hiding a massive, complex global industry just beneath the surface?
Have you ever really stopped to think about what holds your shoes together?
Probably not often enough.
Right. Most of us probably assume it's just, the classic stitch. Good old thread.
Yeah, but that's often not the whole story anymore. The truth is, the forces literally keeping our feet moving, well, they're far more complex and actually pretty ingenious.
So beneath the surface, we're talking about adhesives.
Exactly. Footwear adhesives. They're sort of the unsung heroes here. These sophisticated chemical bonds are what give shoes their structure, their flex, their integrity, things we definitely take for granted.
And that's precisely what we're diving into today. We're exploring the really rapid evolution of the footwear adhesives market.
It's a fascinating area.
We want to unpack the powerful drivers behind its, frankly, incredible growth, look at the significant challenges it's facing, and maybe uncover some of the surprising innovations shaping its future.
Consider this your shortcut, maybe, to understanding a vital, yet, like you said, hidden part of the global economy and the products we use every single day.
Okay, so let's start right there. Why are these adhesives so essential? What's their core job?
Well, at the most basic level, they provide secure, reliable bonds between all the different parts of a shoe. You've got soles, uppers, midsoles, liners, lots of layers.
And these all need to stick together reliably.
Under all sorts of stress, yeah. Walking, running, jumping. But it's more than just holding things together now.
Because the market itself is just booming, isn't it?
Yeah.
We see this huge surge in global footwear consumption. You mentioned Asia-Pacific, Latin America, Africa.
Absolutely. That's a primary growth engine.
So what's driving that demand specifically for the adhesives? Is it just more people buying shoes?
That's part of it, sure. Growing populations, urbanization, rising disposable incomes, that all leads to more shoe sales overall.
But it's not just volume.
No, it's the nature of the demand, too. People want diverse types of footwear now. Casual, formal, high-performance sports shoes, specialized safety boots, you name it.
And each of those needs something different from the adhesive.
Precisely. Different performance characteristics, different levels of flexibility, durability, water resistance, so you need specialized adhesive systems for each.
And that ties into the materials revolution, I guess. We've moved way beyond just leather and basic rubber.
Oh, significantly. Think about modern sneakers. You've got lightweight mesh, cushioned EVA foam, durable PU, flexible TPU.
Right, much lighter, often more breathable materials.
But bonding these advanced synthetics, that's a whole different challenge compared to traditional materials. They often have different surface properties.
Meaning they don't stick as easily?
Exactly. They require highly specialized adhesive systems. You can't just use any old glue. This material revolution really demands an adhesive revolution alongside it.
It's interesting you say that because it feels like we're seeing less stitching overall, too.
We are. Adhesive bonding is increasingly replacing traditional stitching, especially in certain types of shoes.
Why the shift? What are the advantages?
Well, several things. It allows for those seamless, sleek designs we see a lot now. It can improve ergonomics, make the shoe fit better, feel more comfortable, and it significantly boosts water resistance.
No holes for water to get in.
Pretty much. So it's a win for aesthetics and performance.
You see this with the big brands, I assume, like the Nikes and Adidas's of the world.
Absolutely. They rely heavily on advanced adhesives. It's fundamental to how they deliver on consumer expectations, lightweight, durable, good-looking shoes, especially in performance gear and that huge athleisure market.
Those complex multi-part sole units, for instance.
Couldn't be done reliably without sophisticated bonding, no.
And there must be an economic angle, too, for the manufacturers.
Oh, definitely. Adhesives enable much faster assembly lines compared to stitching.
Less manual labor involved.
Considerably less in many cases. That reduces labor costs, which is, well, critical when you're producing shoes on the massive global scale we see today.
So this hidden shift to adhesives has really reshaped how shoes are made worldwide.
Fundamentally, it's enabled mass production scales and influenced where manufacturing happens.
Okay, let's talk about that where. The global supply chain. These contract manufacturing hubs. Tell us about their role.
Right, so you see huge hubs in places like Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, Indonesia. Global brands outsource a massive amount of production to these regions.
Because it's more cost-effective.
Primarily, yes, but this concentration creates a very specific set of demands on the ground for adhesive suppliers.
So these factories, the OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, they're under pressure. What do they need from their adhesive partners?
Immense pressure. They need adhesives that cure fast time is money on the assembly line. They need high bond strengths for durability, obviously.
Got to meet those quality standards.
Absolutely. And they have to comply with increasingly strict international environmental and safety standards, too. It's a tough balancing act. Speed, quality, compliance.
Which implies they're really dependent on their adhesive suppliers then.
Hugely dependent. It's much more than just buying drums of glue. They rely on suppliers for consistent quality, making sure the stuff actually meets regulations, and, critically, technical support.
Like troubleshooting on the factory floor.
Exactly. It has to be a close partnership, which is why certain types of adhesives have really taken off in these environments.
Such as?
We're seeing a lot of water-based polyurethane adhesives, for example, and various hot melt solutions. They tend to offer a good mix of strength, flexibility, and importantly, compatibility with all those synthetic materials we talked about earlier.
Okay, so the demand is there, the technology is evolving, but it can't all be smooth sailing. What are some of the sticky challenges?
Nice one. Yeah, there are definitely hurdles. A big one is raw material price volatility.
Because many of these adhesives come from
Petroleum-based ingredients, often, things like polyurethane and neoprene, their prices can fluctuate wildly, often tied to crude oil prices or, broader global supply chain disruptions.
and that hits the bottom line hard.
Directly. It impacts profitability for the adhesive makers and the shoe factories, the OEMs, makes long-term planning really tricky. It's a constant headache.
And tied into that is the whole sustainability question, right?
Yeah.
Relying on non-renewable resources.
That adds a huge layer of complexity. There's intensifying pressure from consumers, brands, and regulators to move towards more eco-friendly options.
Speaking of regulators, environmental rules are getting tighter.
Significantly tighter, yeah,
Okay.
especially in places like the EU, the US, and China. They're really cracking down on VOC emissions, volatile organic compounds.
Which did you get from?
Traditional solvent-based adhesives, there's a very strong push now for safer, low-emission formulations. Big brands are actively demanding things like Green Label certified or REACH-compliant adhesives.
REACH being the European Chemical Regulation.
That's the one. It's becoming a baseline requirement for many companies supplying those markets.
Now, you mentioned water-based adhesives earlier as gaining traction. They sound like a greener alternative. Are there downsides?
There can be. While they're generally better environmentally, they sometimes don't perform quite as well in really extreme conditions or for certain very specialized bonding applications.
So you hit this performance versus eco-friendliness dilemma.
Sometimes, yes. Especially for high-performance sports gear where failure is just not an option. You can't compromise the bond strength or durability.
And switching adhesive types isn't simple for a factory, is it?
Not at all. There's a considerable cost and, frankly, disruption involved.
How so? What does it actually take for a factory to switch, say, from a solvent-based to a water-based system?
Well, established factories often have machinery like automated dispensers or curing ovens that are specifically calibrated for the adhesives they've been using for years.
So you can't just swap the glue.
Oh, no. Switching often means investing in new equipment or heavily modifying existing lines. It requires expensive process revalidation, proving the new adhesive works consistently.
And supply chains.
You might need to realign your supply chain for the new materials. And then there's extensive employee retraining on handling, application, safety protocols.
Wow, okay. That sounds like a major undertaking.
It really is. Which explains why you see some hesitation, especially among manufacturers in, say, Southeast Asia or Latin America. Even with the pressure to go greener, the upfront investment and operational disruption can be significant barriers.
Got it. But despite those hurdles, there's clearly a lot of innovation happening. Let's shift to the future. What are the big transformative trends? The Green Revolution seems like a good place to start.
Definitely. That push towards eco-friendly and sustainable formulations is really strong. It's not just talk anymore.
What's driving it? Is it just regulations?
Regulations play a part, but it's also consumer demand. People are asking for greener products. And it's corporate ESG goals.
Sure.
Environmental, social, governance targets are pushing companies internally.
So what does that look like in terms of actual adhesives?
We're seeing much more interest and R&D in water-based systems, obviously, but also bio-based adhesives. Things like natural polymers, starches, other biodegradable components. It's still evolving, but the traction is growing, especially among brands targeting eco-conscious consumers in North America and Europe. They're actively seeking out those certified green adhesives.
Okay, beyond green chemistry, what about the factory floor itself? Automation.
That's another massive trend. The adoption of automated adhesive application is really taking off.
Like robots applying the glue.
Exactly. AI-powered dispensers, robotics, smart sensors, they're being integrated into high-end production lines.
What's the benefit there? Just speed.
Speed is part of it, boosting throughput,
Right.
but it's also about precision and consistency. Robots apply the exact amount of adhesive needed, right where it's needed, every single time.
Which reduces waste, I imagine.
Significantly. And it improves quality control. This fits right into the broader Industry 4.0 trends we're seeing everywhere, especially vital and athletic footwear where tiny variations can affect performance.
Makes sense. What about customization? We hear a lot about on-demand production, personalized shoes. How does that impact adhesives?
It creates a whole new set of demands. If you're making custom orthotics or small batches of fashion sneakers, or even 3D printed components.
You need adhesives that work differently.
Right. You need adhesives that cure really fast because you don't have long assembly lines. They need to bond strongly across a potentially wider mix of materials used in customization. And they need to be flexible enough for these small batch or even single item production models.
So the adhesive needs to be adaptable.
Highly adaptable, and suppliers are responding. We're seeing development of things like hybrid adhesives, multi-purpose solutions designed specifically to enable these more agile, quick-turn manufacturing cycles. It's pushing innovation.
It really sounds like a dynamic space. So who are the key players we should be aware of? Who's driving this innovation?
Well, you have the established global leaders, companies like Henkel, H.B. Fuller, Bostik, which is part of Arkema, now Eastman Chemical, Jubilant Industry.
The big chemical company.
Right. They're investing heavily in R&D, getting those sustainability certifications, and developing products tailored for specific regional needs and regulations. They have the scale and the research power.
But it's not just them. Are there smaller or newer players making waves?
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing the rise of some really interesting emerging players and regional specialists. Think Nanpao Resins in Asia, Articola Quimica focusing on South America, Chata Corporation in India.
And what's their angle? How do they compete?
Often, they focus on providing localized solutions, maybe more cost-effective options tailored to the specific needs and materials used in their regional manufacturing bases. And increasingly, they're focusing on eco-compliant offerings too, trying to capture that growing demand within their markets.
Interesting. So a mix of global giants and nimble regional players. Okay, let's try and synthesize this. As we wrap up our deep dive today, what's the big picture for the footwear adhesives market?
I think the big picture is one of steady growth, definitely, but also constant adaptation. It's a market that's continuously evolving to meet these really complex challenges: sustainability pressures, cost fluctuations, new manufacturing technologies.
And it's doing that through developing smarter, greener, and more integrated adhesive solutions.
Exactly. It's really a testament to the sheer amount of unseen innovation that goes into an everyday object we barely think about.
It really is. So maybe the next time you slip on your shoes, just pause for a second. Consider how much complex chemistry and engineering innovation is literally holding them together.
It makes you appreciate them a bit more.
It does. And think about this. How many other hidden industries like footwear adhesives are out there? Right at the forefront of major global trends. Sustainability, automation, personalized manufacturing, quietly shaping the world around us one step or one bond at a time.